I'm inhaling cockroach air. What I got were these wonderful cloud-like goose feather pillows, and I'm allergic to feathers. He listened to my lungs with a stethoscope, and he's like, it sounds like an orchestra, and they'll only do what I want, when I want, how I want, with whomever I want. Saving a whole lot of money on petrol, I would ruin my skin. People are gonna say, no, but it's like so fan. Oh, and I'm also allergic to lobster. Nature, what else? Okay, so today I'm going to get my allergy shots done. Where are my sunglasses? I left them in the house, but it's okay. We're late anyways. No. Novomed. All right, please let there be no traffic. Alhamdulillah. Wait. I'm gonna go that way. All right, so I wear this hat. I got it from Mimesa, because when purchasing the Tesla, I didn't realize that with saving a whole lot of money on petrol, I would ruin my skin. Okay, you see the sunroof up there? It just seeps right through. I even got it like UV tint protection or whatever, and it still negatively impacted my skin. I started to get sunspots. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like the only brown person I know with freckles. And then I went to a dermatologist, and she's like, you have sunspots, it's gonna get worse and become bigger and bigger with time. And I was like, that is so disrespectful. That is so rude. Anyways, so here we are with a hat. I already put my SPF 50 on before leaving the house. And today, what I wanted to talk about, so I thought about creating content while I drive. So it's kind of like talking to a passenger, which is you. So thank you for joining me on this drive. I do live literally in the middle of nowhere on purpose, because I am an omnivert, which is an extrovert and an introvert in one. I like to go out, but I also like my peace at home. So apparently there's a... Oh, my brownie slid across the bottom. Oops. So yes, anyways, so I was thinking of creating a series of me driving and talking to you as if we're driving together and having a chat. And then at some point, I'm pretty sure Mom and I are going to be driving together and just have these conversations. Don't know what to call this series yet, so let me know what you would like that to be called in the comments below. So this morning I woke up, and I call it the Troll Olympics, because people just leave like nasty comments on YouTube, and for me it's really disrespectful. Literally so rude. Anyways, I am the winner of Troll Olympics, because I will put people in their place respectfully with no curse words, and not even being rude, just like challenging their intellect. And you know, common sense isn't even common, it's called rare sense, and that's something that I figured out with a really old friend of mine who I no longer speak to, which is sad, but it's okay. She was good for my early 20s, and that was it. This is basically just going to be like me talking to people. So it's Ramadan right now. I'm fasting, hence no makeup, but I'll still look cute in my abaya. I call this abaya flus, which means money, because it's the color of money. And actually, this is my divorce abaya. I didn't realize it when putting it on today. I just was like, this is the one that needs one more wear before I send it to the dry cleaners, and he's coming tonight to pick things up, so I wore it. But yes, this was the abaya I got divorced in, and it was in this like court in Ras Al Khaimah, and I was the only one in a colored abaya, and I could feel like all the stares, and I was like, I don't care, I look so cute in this outfit. So yes, this is the abaya I wore, and I really love it because I picked out the color, the design, everything in J3 Mall, which is this mall with abayas and jalabiyas and jewelry, perfume, like literally it's like a Emirati starter kit mall. It's great. I love it. So I was talking to my friend today. She is somebody who I've been friends with for I think over a decade, and we were in and out of our friendships. Like, she's beautiful inside and out and so intelligent, and she's cabin crew, right? So I was talking to her today, and I had a session with my life coach yesterday, and we were talking about people pleasing and how it's okay to not make plans. I was supposed to meet with Molly today. We were supposed to have a Love is Blind weddings marathon. So because we're both shift workers, she flies, I control airplanes. So that's something that we do together, and we really cherish that time that we spend, and we're like, can you believe this happened? And then we would guess who is going to say yes in the weddings. I already have my suspicions on who's going to go through and who isn't. I can't remember their names. I give everybody in Love is Blind a nickname. I'm pretty sure I'll do a Love is Blind series later on. But anyway, right now I just want to talk about what I learned with my life coach. The revelation I had with my life coach about people pleasing and making plans. And then this is the conversation that I had with Molly today. So we were supposed to meet to watch Love is Blind, the weddings. I told her, I said, look, how about we just text each other on the day and see how we're both feeling? Because since the divorce, I made a promise to myself to only do what I want, when I want, how I want, with whomever I want. And of course I want to see Molly today, but she wasn't feeling well. And she went out yesterday because she made plans with friends and she didn't want to bail. And I was like, look, with me, you have every right to bail because I want you to be well. And all we were going to do is sit on her couch and watch Love is Blind. However, tomorrow I'm traveling to Umrah with my mother, who's 60, she's turning 65 this year. So I didn't want to risk falling sick and being around my mother and then going to Umrah. And there was a record of 500,000 people doing Umrah at one moment yesterday. So I definitely don't want to add to any illness when I go. And alhamdulillah, at the moment I feel well. So I told her, I said, listen, Molly, like, we don't have to hang out today. I just want you to chill. And then we had like a couple really long podcast level voice notes between the other. And what we were talking about is how she has this feeling of, is a people pleaser because she doesn't want to let her friends down and make plans with them. And I said to her, look, if they're really your friends and you tell them I'm not feeling well, I don't want to come out, then we want you to feel well and be better. So you don't have to actually come out and hang out with us. Or even for me to come over. And at the moment it's Ramadan, which is where we fast for 30 days. No food, no water, and you're supposed to think pure thoughts, pray 5 times a day, and really like have a spiritual reset, which I've really been enjoying because I definitely needed it and it came in time, subhanAllah. And Lent has also fallen at the same time, so you're supposed to give something up for 45 days, I think, okay, I don't know. Molly was telling me how she was going to give up making more than 2 plans per day. And I told her, I said, look, just make provision. Like, we both were discussing this, and I was like, why don't you just continue with making like provisional plans, and then on the day of or the day before, you reconnect and you're like, yo, we're gonna decide how we're feeling tomorrow and then see if we're actually going to execute this plan. And she's, mashallah, very social. Like, I don't go out as much as she does anymore. I'm just really proud of her for like taking this step. I hope she actually follows through with it. But this conversation that I had with my life coach was that this is a form of people pleasing, right? So you make a plan, you show up even though you don't want to because you don't want to upset anybody else. If you upset that person for not showing up and they really know that you're feeling off or down or unwell, and they get upset with you, they are not your friends, okay? They're not your friends, so you don't need to be friends with them. So what's the point in even continuing with that friendship, relationship, whatever? Especially if they see that you're not feeling well or doing well because you're literally burnt out and exhausted. And I feel like that's how people should make plans anyway. You can find alternatives on how to spend time with one another. But yeah, what I found revolutionary when speaking to my life coach yesterday, Trish, she's amazing. She was saying that it's just a form of wanting to please other people, and you don't necessarily have to do that, and you have to prioritize yourself. So I've really, really been enjoying my selfish era post-divorce because I just feel so calm not making plans, okay? I'm gonna release some video about planning and rostering and your calendar and how to, in air quotes, be able to do it all. Because at one point in time, I was going to university part-time, working full-time as an air traffic controller. I was I had a very vibrant social life, so I was always out. I was training in the gym 5 times a week, and that's pretty much it. But that's still a lot of things to do simultaneously for a good 4 years. So I'm going to release that, but it's been really nice, and I have a color-coded calendar telling me where to go, what to do. Oh, and then when I started public speaking, I was also doing multiple public speaking gigs every month, and I was working for free at the time because I was trying to get my name out there in the public speaking space. So I'm going to release that, and I would have a color-coded calendar. And in this color-coded calendar, I would always have something or the other to do every single day. And then when I was married as well, I would make sure that I schedule in the time with my husband when I get my roster, and then plan my friends around that, my public speaking events around that, and any course that I'm doing, because I really am enjoying learning random things like stand-up comedy. I just did a course in that, so now I officially am a stand-up comedian. And I really enjoy doing that, and just a bunch of other things. Like the next thing that mom wants us to do together is to be voiceover artists. So we would do a course in that. I haven't really looked into it, so yes. And another thing I've also really enjoyed since being divorced is being able to do what I want and waking up when I want, and not having someone's untherapized son dictate how my day goes. So at the moment, I'm on my way to get my allergy vaccinations. I think I have to do something crazy like 148 injections over a course of 1 year plus. And at the moment, you're supposed to do 3 rounds. So the first one is 24 injections, and so is the second and the third, but it's the frequency in which you do them. So the first 24, you can do them every single day. I've kind of slacked on that, so I really need to get my act together and get it done. So I'm going in to get my allergy shots today. The reason why I'm doing this is I am severely allergic to dust, dogs, pollen, cats, horses, cockroaches, shrimp, and crab. Now for the shellfish, I don't really care. I don't like the smell or the taste when I did try it and then went into anaphylactic shock of crustaceans, okay? Like, they're like the cockroaches of the ocean, okay? People are gonna say, no, but it's like so fan. Oh, and I'm also allergic to lobster. I don't see the fuss in these things, okay? Like, the cockroaches of the ocean, yet again. Come at me for this, I don't care, but I really don't see the fuss. But my allergy to dust, dogs, pollen, and cockroaches. Now, why does cockroaches matter? Or why do cockroaches matter? When cockroaches die, they go die in dark corners in your house, and then they disintegrate into dust. And then those dust particles are microscopic and they go into the air. And you're basically inhaling cockroach air. Literally, ew. Ew, 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 ew. I live in the Middle East. I live in the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi. The dust is real because I live in a desert, okay? And I live in a concrete desert. So there's a lot of construction and building, desert. So the dust is an issue. We have a lot of artificially planted trees, flowers, so the pollen as well, that does affect me. And then the cockroaches that go and die in the dark corners of my home, I'm inhaling cockroach air, which to be honest, all of us are. So having these allergens, I genuinely couldn't breathe, okay? And I have 3 dogs and I'm allergic to dogs. When I want to go hang out with my mom and we really want to connect with nature, what do? We go to the horse stables, and I'm allergic to horses. When I got divorced, I decided not to move out of my apartment because I bought it and I made it so cute. So I was doing like a little mini makeover, so I changed all the sheets, all the bedding, got rid of all the pillows, and the pillows that I got were these wonderful cloud-like goose feather pillows, and I'm allergic to feathers. So anything I did in my house, I couldn't breathe and I was suffocating. When I was working with my life coach, she was also telling me that grief is held in the lungs, and when I got divorced, that it was the worst time of my breathing. So I went to a specialist in Novomed. Nothing is sponsored, okay? I pay for everything that I do. Even this camera, I bought it, okay? Even though I did an event for DGI recently. I pay for everything because I don't like to feel indebted to people, but also I haven't reached that caliber of let me give you stuff. But also if I do, I don't want stuff because I'm a minimalist. Like, don't give me things, give me experiences instead, or like send me to a spa. That would be great. I was talking about dust, cockroaches, nature, what else? This happens a lot, and I found out it's because I have a B12 deficiency. So it's actually a lack of vitamins and being a shift worker and also fasting at the moment. I just feel like, woo, but in a weak way. even though I like literally woke up 2 hours ago. Everything and anything around me I was allergic to, and it really hit me hard after my divorce. So I went to go see the specialist in Novomed. He listened to my lungs with a stethoscope, and he's like, it sounds like an orchestra in there. And I was like, I'm a musical girl. And he's like, no, it's not a good thing. So he gave me an inhaler, like the lowest dose to use, to see if it'll help with my orchestra lungs. And it did. 2 weeks into the treatment, I was feeling much better. I've got this nose spray that I have to take, again, prescription as well, to help with, I think it's an antihistamine and a steroid, I don't know. And then I'm supposed to take Telfast at night plus some other like antihistamine medication. Now I can breathe in my own house, which is so nice because I love my dogs. And at one point in time, my mom told me to get rid of them, and I was like, no, I refuse. She's like, you could just give them back to the previous owners that you got them from. I'm like, no, they gave them away for a reason, and I don't want to do that. I will find a way to be in my house and be able to breathe around the 3 dogs that I love. We found a really nice like vibe in the house now. Like I can breathe, my dogs are chill. Like they were a little bit distressed after my husband left because he was kind of like a stay-at-home dog dad at one point, so they missed him at the start, but now they're chill. Like, and I realized they have a lot less anxiety, they bark less. Like now they're vibing off me and my energy because your pets are a reflection of you. So that was really nice. I love that. So we found a nice groove, and even when I took them to the vet yesterday, they were just so much calmer, which was nice. So Mom, Sarah, and I are going to Umrah tomorrow. I saw that there was a world record or a record number of pilgrims yesterday, where it was 500,000 people doing Umrah at the same time. Now, mashallah, but that gives me anxiety. Okay, that's a lot of people in one space. I'm just gonna see how I feel. Like I want to do a Umrah twice in the 2 or 3, well, we're there for 2 nights, 3 days. I want to do Umrah twice, once for myself and once for my auntie, and my mom's gonna do it once for herself, one for her mother, and then the same with my friend Sarah, who's joining us. She's gonna do it one for her and one for her mom. So that's something that I was pleasantly surprised to hear, is that you can do Umrah on behalf of someone. I didn't know that, so I'm really excited to do that and experience this spiritual journey that we're going to go on. And the reason we decided to go to Umrah was, I'm a shift worker, so my full-time job is an air traffic controller and an instructor, so sometimes I have a student. I'm also an examiner, so I work shifts. And I didn't know I was going to get annual leave this month, and then I found out that I did, because I requested, I'd like to take annual leave every alternate month, and then I asked for it the month before. So I had time off in January, then I was like, okay, February I'll work the whole month, and then March I would like a month off, and then April I'll work the whole month, and then May I'll request time off. So I don't find out if I'm going to be off until a couple days before. Anyways, I found out I was off, and I was like, oh, what am I supposed to do in Ramadan? I can't travel anywhere. The only thing I could do is go to Umrah. And then I was like, the only thing I could do was go to Umrah. Then I got really upset because I was like, well, my husband was my mahram, so then only could I have gone with him. I needed like a male chaperone. And then I saw an Instagram post of somebody who I interviewed on my podcast, Reem. She is the CEO of TI22 Films, and I'm really excited. I'm actually going to go for a suhoor that she invited me to next week. She's really awesome, and when we were talking on the podcast, I do like to ask people about their like personal lives, and she said that she was single and living in the UAE on her own. So I saw that she went with another woman, and I was like, oh, I can go to Umrah by myself without a mahram. So I was really excited about that. She sent me the details, and I had booked it, I think, within the next 2 or 3 days with my mom and my friend Sarah, and my other 2 sisters couldn't make it, so whatever. They're working, and I decided to go in the week because I feel like it's busy in the weekends comparatively. So that's how I ended up going to Umrah, and I'm going to vlog Umrah as well to the best of my capability. But the point of going is to be present in that moment. So I think the first one that I do, I'm going to do it without the vlog. And then the second one, I might vlog it because I really want to experience it all the way and have my privacy in doing so. So the one that I dedicate to my auntie is the one that I'm going to vlog about, I think. I'm just going to see how I feel. I'll take the camera with me, and then we'll see how it goes. Almost there. I am 5 minutes away. I'm a little bit late. So this is something I don't like about myself since the divorce. I'm late everywhere I go, except for work. I show up to work on time because it pays me, and for the podcast I am on time for things. But when it comes to just where I need to go for an appointment or something like that, if I know I can be late, I will be late. But today was for good cause because I was fully ready. It was just the brownies that took long. But I chose to make these brownies last minute because I was like, let's make some brownies and take them to the nurses because I feel like they work so hard. And one of my sisters, my middle sister, she is a nurse, and I know how underrated and underappreciated nurses are, okay? I feel like they have to learn how to be like micro doctors, and they have to know anything and everything that they need to in order to be able to be a nurse to the doctors. So I feel like they're the most underrated and underappreciated medical staff, and I stand by that. So I always try and take them like a little treat when I go, and usually I just pick up like some chocolates or something from like the store downstairs. But today it was in my heart. I wanted to bake brownies and share them. So I'm giving the nurses brownies, and I made another batch to give to my neighbor's kids. There's this little girl who I live with. She lives next door to me, and I really like her. I think she's like 7 or 8, and that's my favorite age because they're independent enough and innocent enough, and their minds are just so big and fast before the world shuts it down and forces them to not be creative. So I love talking to her. Like, she's just such a vibe, and her favorite chocolate is Snickers. So I just made her a Snickers brownie tray because she's just so sweet. Also, the one thing I really can bake well, pasta bake and brownies. I can cook other stuff, but these are my 2 dishes that are good. So I might make videos on that. I actually genuinely forgot that I decided to commit to vlogging this morning, or this afternoon rather, when I was making the brownies. Oh, maybe another vlog that I can do is about the Tesla. So I was really reluctant for a while to go from a petrol car to an electric vehicle. Best decision I've made to swap and go electric. I specifically went with Tesla because not that I want to support Elon Musk, okay? Even though after I saw his mom on stage, I was more I think subconsciously I was like, yes, I'm gonna get a Tesla. But it was for financial reasons. It was time to change my car anyway because I started to see it was all the emojis came up on the dashboard, and I was like, I think it's time to get a new car. And then I was trying to decide what I was gonna get, and I had a Lexus at the time. So I love Lexus. I think it's a great car. I had a really big crash in it in 2018, and it saved my life. It was completely totaled, and I came out with nothing but a scratch. So shout out to Lexus. So I was always very loyal to that brand, especially since that crash. And then the petrol prices went up, and it's nothing like Europe or the States or whatever over here at the moment. But I didn't want to spend as much as I was spending on fuel because I live in the middle of nowhere, and I was spending at one point 7,000 dirham just to commute to work and back, and that was it because I would drive a lot, and I was going to university and everything at the same time. So it was a lot of driving and a lot of petrol spent. So I wanted to swap to electric, and then Tesla, in my opinion, I just really loved what the Model Y looked like, okay? I'm not big on jewelry, even though I started wearing some after my divorce. But I'm not big on jewelry. I'm not big on the flashy materialistic things. But I like a nice car and a nice number plates. The brownie moved again. Oh my God, it's so nice and quiet here. Usually in the week, astaghfirullah, it's so busy. It's super gross. Okay, let me grab everything